Come on in, you guys. It's day number 33 of my sabbatical to 50. They just happened to drive by right when I went live. That was so wicked. Very loud. But yes, in case you didn't hear, day 33 of my sabbatical to 50. This is my 100-day journey to transform my body, my mind, through a series of biohacks. So if you've been following along for the past 33 days, then you kind of know what I'm already doing. For those of you that are new to this, I am on a journey not to lose weight, but to see what will happen when you do a series of biohacks. Now, I've been carnivore for almost 4 years through the ketogenic prism. I've done a lot of the biohacks that I'm doing, just not all at the same time on the same days. And so I'm seeing what's going to happen. And just to recap, on the odd days, I'm eating carnivore, basically animal-based foods. On the even days, I am trying to get in at least a 24-hour fasting period. Thank you, Philly Keto Mom, for buying a badge. And guys, if you want to support my videos and you like what I do here, definitely click on buy a badge down there. It definitely helps me out. Somebody on YouTube the other day says, do you have a Patreon? I used to have a Patreon. It didn't really do that well, but you can PayPal if you'd rather. And that's just my email address, livinglowcarbman@charter.net. But I am doing a series of biohacks, trying to fast on the even days for at least 24 hours. I've been doing that most days. I think the shortest time I fasted was 22 and a half hours. And the longest one I've done on this particular program is 30 hours. So that's what I'm doing as far as the eating goes. As far as the biohacks go, I am doing at least one 60-minute walk, so I'm on that now. Usually when I go live in the mornings for my morning walk is when I talk to you guys. And so 60-minute walk, it's a nice little trail right next to my house. I did walk with a friend locally the other day, and she was telling me about some of the other trails that aren't so concrete-y, that might be easier on my ankles. My ankles have been buckling lately. You would think they would have buckled earlier, but now they're starting to buckle. So, in fact, right now it's a little just tenuous. I know that'll get better as I continue to lose weight and continue to get more fit. So the 60-minute walk, sometimes 2 a day. The other day I walked for 24,000 steps, so I'm getting in my walk. I'm not worried about that. In fact, it was so bad on Friday when I did that, I had to take yesterday off to recover. Okay, back to what I'm doing. So, infrared sauna, ice bath, grounding with sunshine, red light therapy, meditation, vibration plate. So those are the things that I'm doing in my protocol. And yeah, just to see what happens. So, here we are in day number 33 of that. And right at a third of the way through, I have seen results in fat loss. You guys have seen the pictures. I feel better. It's definitely a lot of good things are happening. Good morning. And so I wanted to come on here today to talk to you guys about something that I know is the arch nemesis of a lot of people making changes. Because when you make changes, I don't know what makes us think this is something that's important, but we do. We put a lot of importance on what I'm going to talk about here today. People think, oh no, I got to go on some other plan again, some new plan, and that plan is going to be boring. You admit it. You've said that. You know you've said that when you've gone on a keto or carnivore diet. A lot of people will say, oh, I could never do that. It's too boring. You basically eat the same thing, blah, blah, blah. And in my case, with my sabbatical to 50, that's so boring. You're doing the same thing every day. How is that interesting? So I have to ask a question to anybody that believes that. If you believe making changes and attempts to get yourself healthy is too boring at times, ask yourself this question. Is the purpose of your journey to entertain you or to change you? If it's to entertain you, then you're 100% right. It's boring as hell. It's boring. And I'll agree with you. But if your goal is to get healthier, nobody cares about being entertained. Entertainment's not the goal. And it just trips me out when people are like, this is boring. This way of eating is boring. Jimmy, it looks like all those things you do every day is boring. Okay, and boring in the context of doing a health journey is actually a lot better than unpredictability. Think about that. If you know what's coming, then you can pretty much make it formulaic. And the formula for making the changes, it'll come automatic. And when it's automatic, you'll do it. When it's a little unpredictable, is when you don't do it. Lori says, what's a vibration plate? So, sweetie, I've actually done lots of videos, lots of posts all about all the things that I'm doing. So you can go check that out, livinlavitalowcarb.com/staybatical, and you can see all the posts. And I definitely do one on vibration plate. But just in short, to answer your question, it's a vibration machine. You step on it, you turn it on, and it starts vibrating, and it sends vibrations through your body. Its purpose is to move the lymph fluid, which does not easily move in the body, which produces a lot of benefits. So go look that up. But yes, if you're just joining us, we're on day number 33 of my Staybatical to 50. And I was talking about this topic of getting healthy can be boring at times. And my primary point here is you're not trying to be entertained. That's not the purpose of a journey. If you're going on a health journey, the whole purpose of it is to stay focused to, get healthy. And so if you're trying to be entertained, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. And so keep that in mind. So talk to me a little bit, you guys. Tell me, when you get that feeling of boredom, or you hear people talk about, oh my gosh, I could never fill in the blank with some healthy protocol. How do you deal with that? How do you explain it to people? How do you convince yourself? Because at one time or another, we all fell prey to this. This is boring. It's too monotonous. I need something exciting to keep me going. And let me say this. If you're one of those people that does need things to be exciting and not boring, change it up. Don't necessarily do the same thing every single day. Because if you do the same thing every day and you're bored, then you won't stick with it. So you know who you are. You know your personality type. I'm the kind of person that if you give me a plan and I keep doing that plan, I'm perfectly happy doing that same plan day after day after day. Not everybody's wired that way. I am. I'm the kind of person that could literally eat the same meal every day. And lately I have been eating that homemade stroganoff recipe that I came up with grass-fed beef. I did switch it up this morning. I had, what did I have? Smoked kielbasa, cooked in some butter to brown it really nice, and then some mozzarella cheese on top. And that's what I had this morning. So I'm perfectly fine though, eating the same thing over and over. I'm perfectly fine walking this trail every day. I'm perfectly fine doing all the biohacks. Because to me, when I can check off all those boxes of things to get done, there's the accomplishment. There's how I know I'm doing something for myself. Whereas if it was helter-skelter, always changing and always unpredictable, which again, I know there's people like that like that kind of thing. If that's you, then play within the parameters of yourself. So maybe you're one of those people who thinks getting healthy can be boring at times. Switch it up if you need that. Now, let me say one thing, that even though I'm doing the same things every day, I am constantly pushing myself to do more. Like I said, Friday, I got in 24,000 steps on Friday. My average when I do 2 walks a day, somewhere around 15 to 17,000. So I stepped it up a little more on Friday, and then I paid the consequences for that. Yesterday, needed to take a day off. So play around with it, but I want to hear from you. What's your experience when people say, I couldn't do what you do, it's too boring? Do you agree with me that a health journey is not about entertainment? A health journey is about your health and about pursuing your goals. Or are you one of those people that does like to change it up? How do you do it? And how does that keep it from being boring? So let me see what you guys have to say. Thank you for being here. I did miss coming out yesterday, but I know when my body feels the way it did yesterday, that I don't need to be out here and that I need to rest. And I knew even late in the afternoon on Friday when, like I said, a local friend of mine who watches me on these lives, Patty, came and said, hey, let's go walk at 4. So we walked and my ankles were already buckling. And I was like, that should have been my clue to not walk. But I did anyway, because she came to walk with me. And so I did anyway. I found the limits and then I paid the price for it. So won't do that again. Good morning, Linda. Good morning, Lindy. Thank you for being here, you guys. Wow, lots of people in here today. Thanks for being here, guys. Here we go. Minnesota Keto Oak says, I prefer my keto journey to be boring. It means I know what I'm doing. I don't have to think too much about it now. And it's just my way of life. Yes. See, I think society has entrained us to want excitement always in every part of our lives. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't live a boring life. Have an exciting life. But when it comes to something that's serious, like your health, if boring keeps you on the straight and narrow, then boring it should be. My concern with always having to look for not being boring in your health journey is, what happens when you just don't feel like having an exciting day? What happens those days? If you resort back to the boring, which is the protocol, the main protocol, you won't feel very motivated. And so I don't like that characterization of a protocol, of a norm of what you do day by day by day, like what I'm doing on my protocol, as boring. I would call it structured. I would call it the instructions for what you are doing. And so if you start looking at it that way, rather than boring, it changes the way you see it in your mind. And again, we are trained to want to be entertained. And a health journey is not about entertainment. It's about getting healthy and doing all the things that do that. Good morning.
Good morning.
And so I love that, Minnesota Keto, that you appreciate the boringness because you don't have to think about it too much. You just do it. And here's the funny part about boring. If you think it's boring, then you also subliminally are thinking it's not doing anything. We think we need something exciting, something new, in order to see results in weight loss, in body composition change, in mindset change. When you do the same thing every day and you don't necessarily see or feel in real time what's happening, that'll make it feel like it's boring. And boring makes you think nothing's happening, and therefore you become demotivated. So that's another reason not to look at it as boring. Look at it as, this is what I do. This is what I'm doing to get healthy. And that's the way I'm viewing mine. I'm seeing all these things. They take me about 4 to 5 hours a day to do all of them, sometimes a little longer when I do a second walk. And it's worth it. Like, I don't see it as a chore. And even if I don't necessarily feel like it, coming out here to walk, for example, or getting in the sauna, if I don't feel like it, I still do it anyway. And then when I'm done, I'm always like, well, dang, I didn't feel like it, but I'm glad I did. Even though it seems boring at times. Prog Queen, nothing is boring when I'm listening to disco music. Is that a little bit of Bee Gees going on? Ha, 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 staying alive, staying alive. Jungle Boogie. Don't get me started on disco. You got my mind back in the late 70s when I was a little kid. Let's move on to Lindy, Keto Teacher Mom. I lean into how my choices, such as my workouts and my way of eating, make me feel. Then I put my head down and get her done. I'd rather lead by example than engage with some. Yes. Yes, Lindy. And see, Lindy's a perfect example, you guys. Lindy knows the value of the structure and how did you put it, leaning into the choices and how they make you feel. You know, Lindy, you've been there. And I know you probably had those thoughts. We all have. Of all the things you're doing, they probably did feel a bit boring at first. But you had a greater goal, a greater purpose in mind. You saw those things that you did as a means to an end. And the means to an end was you were trying to lose weight and get healthy. And mission accomplished. That's exactly what happened. Good morning. And so, yeah, you know firsthand, probably more than most, Lindy, what I'm talking about here, that it's not really about entertaining yourself. It's not about, I've got to keep this exciting. Lean into it. I love that. That's good verbiage. I would expect that from a teacher. Lindy also said, if others truly want to change, I'm all about helping them. Yes. And look, if you're stuck, feeling like you're kind of stuck in a rut and feeling bored, hire a coach. Like, there's tons of people that are doing this kind of service. Definitely go look up Keto Teacher Mom here on Instagram. She's a coach, has a great program that she does with my good friend Alyssa and one other lady, I forget her name. But the three of them have a nice program. There's tons of coaches. I don't want to disrespect by not saying all their names, but if you type in Keto Coach, you'll probably find a bunch of them here on Instagram. But they can put a little wiggle in your jiggle to get you moving if you're feeling like your plan is boring. So guys, if you're just joining us, I'm on day number 33 of my stay sabbatical to 50. Yes, I'm getting a little bit later start today. I was not feeling great this morning when I woke up. So my ankles have still been a little bit precarious. I walked on Friday and they were really hurting me. I know that's going to get better the more I walk, the more I continue to lose weight in the midsection, which I am. It'll get better with time. In the meantime, rest when appropriate, like I did yesterday, and then get back out here. So I'm out here today, day number 33, and I'm talking about this topic of getting healthy. It can feel boring at times. And when it's boring, it's laborious. And you don't really want to do it. And you don't feel like it. And ultimately, you give it up. And so we're trying to reframe that. That when you're trying to get healthy, you're not trying to be entertained. You're trying to change your body. And I love what Lindy said. Instead of seeing it as boring, just lean into it. Hey, those are the things I got to do. You wouldn't imagine going out the house without brushing your teeth, combing your hair. If I had hair, I would. Putting on clothes. Please put on clothes. Bathing. Like, think about all those things you do automatically every day. Now, shift that over to what you're doing in your journey. All of these protocols that I'm doing on this stay sabbatical to 50, all of them I view in the same way as all those other essential things. And if you view them as essential, there's no boredom to it. It's just, you got to do it. There's no bargaining. You just do it. And when you look at it that way, it makes it less and less visible as a boring thing. I also change up the music, my workout clothes, etc. That's a great suggestion too, Lindy, if you go to the gym. Yeah, I like that. Although I got to tell you, I love coming on Instagram Live because you guys are my change up. Like, I never know what you're going to say to things. I had a hater on here the other day. So it's always interesting here. And what happens is I know how to talk on camera. And so I'm talking to you guys and I get in my 1 hour walk and I hardly feel like I walked because I was talking to you guys. So, and I never know what you're going to say. So it's always fun for me to engage with you. So thank you for writing comments. You help me get through my walks in the mornings. Linda says, did my usual walk, but figured I would join on yours. Cool. Good morning. Yeah, Linda's one of those that started walking with me when I started walking. A lot of you guys started doing that. So that was cool. Is it boring to go on the walk every day? Not if you have something to keep you preoccupied, like some goofball down in South Carolina on this crazy little journey he's on. All right, let's see. Lindy says, another thing that can recharge your dedication to or excitement for a protocol is scheduling some play in there, either a trip or some sort of event to work towards little goalposts of fun to look forward to. Yes, I agree with that. Definitely agree with that. I guess when you're not quantifying weight loss, though, I'm trying to figure out, would it just be subjective at that point? I suppose if you look a certain way in the mirror or have other quantifiable changes, it is something that person by person you can figure that out. But I do like the idea of rewarding yourself with something fun. Yeah, that's cool. Love it, love it. I think I'm going to save that, though, Lindy, for myself until the 100 days is over. Because I did set up this 100 days. And if I went away on a trip, it would make it extremely hard to get in all the things I need to get in. So, but I am at the end of the 100 days, which is December the 10th is the last day. I am planning on traveling to go see a friend in Tennessee. We usually play disc golf together sometime in the fall. And so I'll do that. Yeah, it's coming. I'm planning that already. Get to the 100 days, have the changes that happen, and then go off and have some fun and then come back and hit it hard again. Love it. Courtney says, I'm currently recovering from a hysterectomy. This is quite boring. It shows the power of nutrition alone. I just want my boring routine back at this point. Yes. Yeah, I suppose pick your poison of boring, right? One person's boring is another person's dream, because you're dreaming to have this kind of boring, right? Well, hang in there with your recovery. I don't personally know what that's like, but I know some people in my life who have gone through that, balancing the hormones and all the things that come from that. So best wishes to you, Courtney. I love the view behind you. Yes, I have a pretty nice little trail with all the greenery. It's not quite in the middle of the woods, but it sure is close to a lot of green. So I am definitely getting oxygenated air around all this greenery. Ideally, if I could find a place that's in the woods near me, that's where I would like to walk, because it would be quieter. And maybe that's the way I'm going to change it up here at some point, is find some place where I can walk that's different than this loud noise. It's so noisy with all these cars and everything. I would like to get somewhere where it's more peaceful. That's my goal anyway. Karen says, day number 33, way to go. Thank you, Karen. 33. It feels like I've been going for a while, and I still have double that left to go for the 100 days, which is fine because, look, as much as I've seen changes happen already, really not much has happened up here, if that makes sense. Like, I can see it in the pictures. Okay, great. I can somewhat feel it in the day-to-day that I'm lighter and things are changing. But I think we all desire to be further ahead than we are. Now, I'm not discouraged by that. I've done this before. It's not like this is new territory for me. This is very familiar territory. It's just I forgot how kind of laborious it is. Putting in the work in the day-to-day, expecting to see results from all that work. And results are happening, but an ever glacial movement. You know, and there might be like one day that I wake up and I'm like, whoa, like I feel great. I notice something, that kind of thing. But in the day-to-day, the hour-to-hour, the minute-to-minute, it can feel boring. It can feel like a grind because it doesn't seem like a lot is happening. But I remind myself a whole lot is happening. I'm in the game. I'm on a health journey. I'm doing all the things. And when you remind yourself of these truths, it motivates you to keep going, knowing that good things are happening. Cumulatively over time, they will add up to the big success that everybody's looking for at the end. Are you still on your stroganoff kick? Yes, Holly, I said that earlier, and I know you came in late. I do love making that stroganoff. It's so easy, and just for those of you that don't read my stories, I take a pound of grass-fed beef and I cook it up until it's brown. Then I add in some heavy cream. I don't measure, so don't ask how much of this stuff, just however much you want. A little bit of heavy cream, put in some cream cheese, put in some mozzarella cheese, Redmond's sea salt, Redmond's real salt, and a few little spices. I think it's like a ranch spice thing from Select Savory Seasonings. And then just mix it all together till it's all ooey gooey. Pour it on the plate. And then I like to put like a drizzle of sour cream on top of that. Yes, it's a lot of food. But then I'll eat that and probably not eat for a long time when I eat that. In fact, I had that yesterday morning. And I went pretty much the whole day without eating until it got like 6 o'clock. And I was like, well, I need to eat something. Can't be fasting when I'm supposed to be eating. And so I had a keto chow shake. And that was it. And then this morning, my last meal before I started fasting today was some kielbasa, some smoked kielbasa. I'm at the halfway point. Lena Lane. Turning around. I'm at the halfway point. So this morning I had smoked kielbasa with cooked in butter with some mozzarella cheese on top. So that was my last meal. I'll be fasting the rest of the day and try to fast into tomorrow as long as I can. Always trying to seek for that 24 hours at least. Always listening to the body. The other day I was 22 and a half hours in a fast and I was just ravenous. And I'm like, I'm not pushing it an hour and a half just to arbitrarily have a 24-hour fast. And that's part of listening to my body. And that has helped this not be boring as well. A lot of people that eat low calorie types of diets, they're like starving between meals because they're not getting enough nutrition. This is so boring. I can't eat what I want. I'm hungry. That's no way to live. I think you honor those signals that your body gives you, and then you get rewarded for that. Karen says, I'm going walking. So is Prague Queen. Karen says, I'm now walking with you. Hello, Karen. Walk, walk, walk. I like this walk and talk. I joked last week that I should probably start a podcast called Walk and Talk with Jimmy Moore. I put all these up on YouTube and on Facebook and, of course, IGTV, so turning them into a podcast would not be hard. Just pull the audio. But I need another podcast like I need a hole in my head. So. Whew. Maybe down the road, because at the end of 100 days, I won't stop walking. I won't stop doing these. I do enjoy these. And look, the end of the 100 days is not the end of the journey. I'm seeing this 100 days of the Sabbatical to 50 as just the beginning. And I hope you realize that too, that when you have a challenge to kickstart you, so that you do continue on long after the journey's done. My nose is itching all of a sudden. So you do continue on. Otherwise, what's the point? It's like going on a diet. I'm going to go on a diet for 6 months to lose weight for that wedding. Okay, what are you going to do after 6 months? I was going to stop and go back to the way it was. Okay, well, that doesn't make sense. If you're dedicated to your health, you use that period of time to kickstart you, and then now you're motivated to keep going. And the moment you start becoming demotivated is the moment you need to get back on it again and then never get off. So Linda says, I like it when the goofball is on when I'm walking. Yes. Proud goofball. One of these days I'm going to convince a girl of that. Someday. Tahanivore says, I try to find excitement in other things in my life so that I can keep my mind off of anything that may feel boring. Learning something new, for example. I love that. Tahani, that is a great idea. If you're looking for excitement, look forward in other areas of your life. That's good. I like that. And then make this routine. Do you look for excitement when you brush your teeth every day? Do you look for excitement with how you brush your hair? Think about that. What new exciting thing are you doing about how you put your clothes on? No, those things are boring because they're routine by design. They're not supposed to be exciting. They're just what you do. And that's the way you need to view your health journey and the protocol you come up with to get healthy. I like that. Find excitement other areas of your life. Bulletproof Coconut, go Jimmy. Thank you. I got some great cheerleaders on here. I appreciate all of you. Your presence here means a lot to me, whether you're watching live or on the replay. My traffic for these videos has been unbelievable, and I appreciate that a lot, you guys. Really has helped me out. Lindy says, love it. Thank you. Do you ever go dairy-free for a period of time, says Del Norte. Great question. I have, and I didn't really see a lot of difference. I know it's supposed to help with some of the gastrointestinal stuff. I know some people get an insulin response from too much dairy. Some people have inflammatory issues when they consume dairy or weight gain. I've never seen anything of the sort with all those things. Now, maybe at the end of 100 days, when I seek to challenge myself more from what I've been doing, maybe one of the things I will do is push it to dairy-free or cut way back on the dairy. But for now, this is what's working for me, and I'm going to keep doing it. Okay, guys, so if you just came in, welcome. I got started a little bit later today for a few reasons. It is Sunday morning, so no sense in busting your butt at 7 a.m. Probably most people are sleeping in a bit. So, plus a lot of you guys aren't on the East Coast. And you're home on the weekend and you're just up. So thank you. Thank you for watching. This is my Sabbatical to 50 I'm on day 33 of this journey, seeking to transform my body and my mind and doing it. That's the fun part. Not just wanting to do it, not just hoping it'll happen, but actually putting feet to action to make it happen. And I've been in this space a long time, this health and wellness space. I know what to do. I know how to do it. And what I'm testing here is, can you push your body to the brink? Can you push your body further than you even expect that you can? And the answer is yes. Yes, you can. And when you push yourself, like I'm doing now, despite some pain, despite some bumps in the road along the way, you do it. I'm trying to show you can see big things happen. And if you've seen my updates on social media, you know that I have been losing the belly fat, which is one of my goals. Don't know how much weight I've lost, don't care. I just want to see body composition change. Now let me shift gears since you guys went quiet on me. Feel free to keep chiming in, talking about healthy and getting healthy being boring at times, why it's true, why it's not true, how you respond to that. But one thing that I've come to the conclusion of, and it happened after I spoke with Patty the other day, who I see just got on here. She and I walked this trail Friday afternoon, and my ankles were not doing well. Especially my right ankle started buckling on me. It's doing pretty well right this second, Patty, but it did hurt at first. And so I realized I need to strengthen those ankles and that lower part of my body, partly by continuing to walk, partly by losing some more weight before I try flipping that tire. I can see already that if I get out there in my yard and try to flip that tractor tire and my ankle buckles, it ain't going to be pretty. So I want to make sure my ankle is solvent before I get out there. And it's disappointing for me because I'm itching to flip that tire, because I know the strength gains from that are going to be phenomenal. So if I can do it within these 100 days, I will. But if not, then I will definitely do it when my body is ready. And again, this is all a part of listening to my body. I so bad want to do a lot of things, but I've got to listen to my body. And I will. I will always listen to my body. And if the body's like, whoa, 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 then I'm going to take caution. I pushed my body on Friday, Patty. When we did that walk, I had already gotten in a crap load of steps that day. And then came out here and walked with you. And I realized the way my ankles were buckling, I had already overdone it. So I had to take yesterday off because of that. But that's okay. I'm back out here today, doing all the things today, and working my way up. I think sometimes our brains want to go there before our bodies are always able. But let's look at the inverse of that. Sometimes your brain will tell you that you can't go there when your body is very able. So it's being able to differentiate those voices and make the appropriate changes when you need to. So come on in, guys. Thanks for being here today. Day 33. Del Norte says, keep going. I love it. Oh, I will keep going. Anybody that knows me personally knows I don't quit. I don't stop. Adversity does not harm me in any way. So noisy out here. So yeah, getting in a good rhythm of walking, and so it's like, it feels good when you kind of get that dun, 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 dun. You know what I'm talking about. You get in the groove and you feel good. And that's where I'm at. But yeah, day 33, 1/3 of the way through this thing now. On my way to December the 10th. Keep in mind, 17 days from now, I will be inviting you guys to join me on your own challenge. No, you're not doing the same thing I'm doing. This is what I came up with to challenge myself. You guys are going to come up with your own version of something that will challenge you. And so start thinking about those things that you could do. It doesn't even have to be a whole lot of things. It could be something as simple as walking for an hour a day. If you're doing no walking and then suddenly you walk for an hour a day, that's a big move. That's a big move. But keep in mind, it needs to challenge you. Don't do something that you can do. Do something that, yes, it's accomplishable, but it's going to push you a little bit. And that's what I'm doing, is I'm having this one walk, sometimes 2 walks a day, and all the other things. It's a time commitment. It's a tolerating things commitment, because I don't like the infrared sauna. It's way too hot. And so that makes it a little bit tough. Morning. Bulletproof Coconut says, often when I'm intermittent fasting, I get brain fog, urge for food, but I'm not hungry. I have not experienced that. Usually when I have those kind of hunger during a intermittent fasting is so easy for me. I've done some long fasts, so I guess that helps me to see intermittent fast is really nothing. 24 hours or less, that's an intermittent fast. And so it's pretty easy for me. Stay hydrated, get plenty of electrolytes, get plenty of rest when your body needs it. Don't overexert yourself. Those are all the things that prevent hunger for me, Bulletproof Coconut. Yeah, it's just something I don't deal with. So look at those things I mentioned. If you're overly exercising in the midst of the intermittent fast, maybe back off a little, just to see if that helps. There's little things that you can do to tweak it so you don't feel the hunger. Good morning. So yeah, day number 33, guys. We're rocking along. I am enjoying the journey. Had somebody ask the other day, aren't you curious how much weight you've lost? And I'm like, honestly, no. I don't care. It's obvious I've lost weight. Who cares what the number is? Who makes the rules that you need to quantify how you're doing based on a number on a gravity detecting device? I just don't get that. For the longest time, we've all been told that's your measurement. That's what you look at. And so I just disagree. I think you can quantify it in how you feel, in how your clothes fit differently. Like I'm wearing one of my favorite Cowboys shirts. And this one actually was so tight on me that it lifted above my waist. Well, now it's like baggy below the waist, meaning I've lost a considerable amount of weight in the belly. Why would I want to quantify that? What good would that do? Let's say it's a 5-pound weight loss, or it's a 15-pound weight loss. Does anything change either way? Am I any less proud that the shirt fits the way it does now? No, I feel exactly the same. So what good are you doing seeing some number on a scale? I don't get it. And I understand there's purists. How do you know that changes are happening if you never step on a scale? Because I can see it. I can feel it. I don't need a number to tell me that. Now, I understand at the end of a journey, Oh, 100-pound weight loss success story. And look, I've been that 180-pound weight loss success story. So I understand that, and I've used that, and it's impressive to people. But if I had to pass on something I've learned in doing this for 17 years, is that's less important than how you feel. I think the pursuit of the numbers does more in the long run as a negative than it does a positive. Because when you're always chasing numbers and then the numbers go sideways for whatever reason, sometimes through no fault of your own, those numbers don't quite move the way you want them to. No fault of your own. You're doing all the right things. You're doing all the boring tasks that we've been talking about here today. And the same things that you did to lose a certain amount of weight, suddenly no weight is coming off your body, according to the scale. And so you start chasing that number, and that number's not moving, you get discouraged. Whereas, if you did the exact same things, like what I'm doing on my journey, you're not looking at a scale, you're just doing them. What would discourage you? Think this through a little bit. What would discourage you? If over time you saw no changes in your body composition, despite killing yourself with all these things that you're doing. No changes. But here's the thing. Changes are always happening. Changes are always happening. You can't always see them. You can't always feel them in real time. But changes are always happening. Metabolically, blood sugar's getting better. Metabolically, inflammation's going down. Metabolically, insulin's going down. All the health markers that you're trying to improve are getting better, even if you can't feel them getting better. And if you start to feel bad, which let me reveal this. So the last 4 or 5 days, I have found myself in the middle of the day, just out of nowhere, 11, 12, 1 o'clock, in the middle of the day, getting tired, like really tired, to the point that I need to go lay down, and I end up taking a nap. Now I realize not everybody can do that. And so I realize it's a great privilege to be able to do that. But I've noticed that. And people might think, wow, this regimen is making me tired. No, the regimen is healing me. What's making me tired, I think, is the release of some of the fat stores and some of the things in those fat stores. And that's my body flushing those out. And you're going to feel those momentary feelings of blah. And I've had those the last few days. Yesterday was a big time blah. On top of my legs were tired and I was just really fatigued. I got super fatigued in the middle of the day. Even after having great sleep, I think I saw my sleep was like 4.5 hours of combined deep and REM with my Oura ring. 4.5 hours. And then I laid down for a nap for an hour and got 30 more minutes of restorative sleep. Even after I had great sleep, I still got more sleep. So your body's going to recuperate. It's going to get what it needs when you honor it. And you could blame the protocol, you could blame the diet, blame whatever on why you felt that way, or realize that when you're making changes, you're going to have those moments and you just have to roll with it. Patty says, I bought some local honey at the farmer's market yesterday. I tried it on my steak. CGM rose 33 milligrams per deciliter for 45 minutes, but I was at 82 when I started. It made no difference in how I felt. They say, Patty, that, and I agree with this assessment, you should not see a spike more than 25 to 30 points within an hour postprandial. So you tested at 45 minutes, which means if you test it again in an hour, it might have been a little higher. And you didn't say what it was, 2 hours postprandial, which is after eating, for those of you that don't know. It should be back down within 5-ish points of your baseline. So if you started at 82 and it went up to 110, let's just say, at 1 hour postprandial, and then it was back to 82 again, or some semblance therein, within 2 hours, then that's a pretty good response. It's still not supposed to spike a whole lot. like that. But keep testing. I'd be very curious to know what your numbers are at that 1 and 2 hour postprandial with the honey. I know for me, I can't do that, but it's worth a shot for people testing that kind of thing. I know Paul Saladino is talking quite a bit about honey and its benefits and blah, blah, blah. And yes, Patty alerted me that Paul Saladino, the carnivore diet guy, has been dissing on keto a bit. Definitely go listen to what he has to say. I did check that out, Patty, after you told me about it. He makes some interesting arguments. I disagree on a few little subtle points, but it's always food for thought to bring up things to make people think. I'm all about making people think. So, thought-provoking. So yes, you guys, day 33, sabbatical to 50. This is my first of the protocols that I'm doing today. I kind of chilled out a little bit this morning just to kind of assess where my body is. I feel pretty good. I am going to go see the chiropractor here within the next hour or so. I got to run some errands first after I shower. But I'll get it all in. I certainly missed yesterday. I don't like taking a day off because I think when you get into a routine, as boring as it may be, when you get into a routine, you hate breaking that routine. My friend Brittany went away with her husband this weekend for about 3 or 4 days, and she just got back. And the first thing she said was, I miss my routine. I've got to get back in my routine. She did make her 75 hard, by the way. That ended on Thursday, and she made it all the way to 75 days. So now she's cheering me on for the rest of my journey. But that was the first thing she said when she got back. I need to get back in my routine. I feel so out of sorts without my routine. So when I took a day off yesterday, it was the same kind of thing. It felt weird not doing anything in the protocol. But I also knew and recognized I needed the rest. And so I did. Rested my body well. All right, I'm on that last hill, you guys. Somebody talk. Give me some thoughts to read because it's going to get hard to breathe here in a second. Whew. It's a little warm today for the morning time. I noticed this coming up week, it's going to be raining most of the next 4 or 5 days. So we'll see how that goes in the mornings. I think the higher percentage is early in the week. So we shall see what that will be like doing these updates in the morning for you guys. I did walk one day, a couple weeks ago, with an umbrella. That was a little tricky. Holding an umbrella, holding a phone, walking in the rain. And if I wasn't doing a live, I would just leave the umbrella at home and just walk in the rain. But I want to bring you guys along for the ride. You guys are just as vested in my journey as anybody. And again, thank you for that. I am kicking this hill's ass right now. Ankles are holding up. I like this. I like having a big hill at the end to really push me to go strong to the end. Almost there. I will be glad when this walk is regularly in the 40s and 50s. Jimmy don't like the heat. Okay, I'm at the top of that hill. I made it. You guys went completely quiet on me during that hill. I'm like, talk to me, baby. Okay. So yeah, so I hope you guys are feeling good in your own journeys. If you're not, consider taking me up on my offer to join me in the latter part of my journey. The last 50 days of my journey will start on day 51. That will be day 1 for you guys. Mudfoot wants to know, when do I turn 50? My birthday is 2 days after Christmas, so December 27th is when that happens. It was so funny. I was scrolling somewhere online and it said, look at these actors 50 years ago and what they look like today. And I was like, oh, that's so surreal. That's the year I was born, 1971. And they showed like Betty White, Robert De Niro, and all these people. Sylvester Stallone. Some of them before they were really famous for what they were famous for. Like Stallone had not done Rocky or Rambo or any of those movies yet. So yeah, December 27th. You seem to be breathing hard today, says Vicky, because it's hot as hell, Vicky. And I also just did a really steep hill there at the end. I always breathe hard on that one. So between the heat and the hill, it was hell. Heat plus hill equals hell. I'm very parched today. It is a little bit later in the day. Usually when I'm out here, it's about 3 hours before this, 3 or 4 hours before this. And it's not quite this warm yet. It's pretty warm for me. That's why I said I look forward to the mornings when it's going to be like 40s and 50s. Because that's my jam. Short and t-shirt, 40s and 50s. I could walk for 2 hours. Jimmy don't do the heat very well. Although I will tell you guys this. I told Brittany this the other day. The ice bath, which I always like, and I still do like it, but the ice bath has started to feel cold to me now. And I think that's a testament to losing some of the layers on my body, the fat layers. And so, real interesting. It's going to be very interesting once I get that Morosco Forge, the big ice tank. It's still on the way. Hopefully within the next 2 to 3 weeks, I'll have that bad boy. They've been having trouble finding people to build. But once I can get in that thing, we will see what my tolerance is to cold. Currently, I'm in an ice bath for about an hour when I do it, and I love it. But I start with my legs in the bathtub, squirt my way down, pour water over my head, all that kind of thing. And so that takes time. What happens when it's all 33 degrees, controlled 33 degrees? I don't think I can stay in there an hour doing that. McKillil44, how many steps do you get in on your walk? So I don't just do one walk necessarily. Hang on. Very busy intersection. All right. And it depends. Like when I first started, I got an obligate number of steps, but now I walk further than that. So all I know is at the end of the day, when I look at the Oura Ring, if I've walked once and then all the other regular walking I do, that's about 13 to 15,000-ish steps. Generally. Sometimes a little less than that if I don't do much else than the walk. I try to do more than just the walk, but and then if I do 2 walks, it's typically around 17,000 steps. On Friday, I got 24,000 steps in. And now the Oura Ring just updated where you can see how far you walked. Friday, it said I walked 15 miles. So that's a lot of walking. No wonder I was wore out. I needed the day off yesterday. So that's how that goes. But guys, I'm at the end of my walk. I'm on my street here in Spartanburg, South Carolina. day 33, sabbatical to 50. Thank you guys for always joining me, supporting me. Again, if you're watching this on a replay, we do go live over on Instagram Live. Go follow at Livin' Low Carb Man, LIVINLOWCARBMEN. And that's how you can follow me. And yeah, we do this most days, not every day. Sometimes I need a day off. I don't usually go live on the weekends, but because I missed, Thursday and yesterday, I decided to go live here today for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed that. Come check us out. And if you've missed any part of this journey, including any of the past sabbatical to 50 videos, go to my website, livinlavitalow-carb.com/sabbatical. And you can see all the posts I've written about this. All the videos are embedded there. If I've talked about this journey, that's where it is. So go check it out, you guys. I'm going to pop off of here for now, and we'll be back again real soon. Bye, everyone.